All right, everybody. I have to tell you, I'm super excited to have a really close friend of mine that I've known for over 10 years, Jeremy Self, with us today. And, we were just debriefing before this and has some amazing information that I feel that he has to share to you guys. And I know that I know Jeremy for 10 years, but you don't. So for the listeners, Jeremy, would you just tell everyone a little bit about you? I know you have a beautiful family. What do people need to know about you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, Dr. Lewis and I have been friends. I remember he came up to me at a Lake Travis Chamber of Commerce meeting uh, just after the meeting and said, "Hey, I'd like to talk with you more and get to know you." And that began our ship over the years. And so thank you for having me here. And I appreciate the opportunity to share a little
Of
bit
course.
about me. Um, I'm married. I have 5 children, 4 biological boys in a row, age 19, 16, 14, 12. And I have an adopted daughter, Ella, who is 9. She's adopted from Haiti, and we call her our Haitian princess. And so we have a beautiful family. My wife's family lives here too. So when we're all together, we have 21 grandkids and adults all together. So it's a big family.
And one of the sweetest, biggest families I have to say I've ever met too.
It's awesome.
Well, what about tell the listeners about your background?
Yeah. When I was 18, I put my faith in Christ, and I felt like God wanted me to do something for Him. And so I went into ministry for 20 years and had been serving as a lead pastor here in the area in Lake Travis for about the last 10 years. Whenever I felt compelled to get into business, one of the things that I had been doing as I was leading the church was I was also leading Financial Peace University classes that was offered through Dave Ramsey. And as I did that, I just loved helping people win with their money. I love seeing people get out of debt, stay out of debt, live on a budget. Um, and then as I started feeling that compelling to get into business, I thought maybe financial advising would be a path for me.
And can you tell everyone who are you currently with now?
Oh, yeah. So I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones Investments, and I really work with long-term, serious investors to help them find out what's important to them, really using an established process to help them reach their goals, and then partner throughout life to help them stay on track.
No, I haven't been to your office yet. It's in Lakeway, right?
Yes, it's in Lakeway. If you've ever seen the big golf ball water tower in Lakeway,
Yeah.
our office is right underneath that in that plaza.
Okay. Um, is that by the firehouse subs?
Yep, Firehouse
Okay.
Subs and Finley's and the Espetos Brazilian Steakhouse.
Oh yeah. Um, well, it's funny because those listening, when I come up to Jeremy, he had prayed over the meal, and I was looking for a church, and was starting a church, and we served together at that church for many years, and um, have just a lot of stories to tell you as far as how he's led me spiritually, but also financially. And I did go through the financial piece through the church, and dramatically changed our life, the way that we live. And Jeremy, as you know, helped us get out of tons of debt, and just been huge. And one of the reasons why I was thinking about having you come on, because I know just from patients coming in, and you can see fear on their face about their investments and things that they have invested in not looking really well. But on a positive aspect, I know a lot of people who are investing and have already done well by kind of trusting the process as well. But with this crazy times, one question I always like to ask: how has the COVID, pandemic affected you and just everything in general?
Yeah, I think that it's affected us personally, in a positive way, in the sense that we've spent so much more time together as a family than we normally do. We work out together as a family. We go on evening walks together. We have meals together around the table as a family. And so personally, it's been really a positive thing. And then even with business, people have been scared. People have been fearful, and I've been able to give good, sound, disciplined advice to people and help be a calming voice in the midst of this turmoil. So I think that that's been a great thing. I'm kind of using my pastoral experience and some coaching experience that I had to help people kind of navigate through this market volatility.
Oh, that's some amazing tools to have at this time. Um, as far as something that you would want to share with people listening today, just some takeaways that you would want to leave them with as
Yeah.
it relates to the market.
Yeah. And feel free to jump in. I think about these 5 takeaways that you can have in any market pullback. The first takeaway is to avoid the temptation to panic. Um, this pullback is just like those before it, in the sense that it won't last forever. And we need to remember that. We want to be invested when the rebound begins, right? We don't want to wait till after it begins. So, avoiding the temptation to panic. Number 2, measure your progress against your goals, not the peak value of your portfolio or short term fluctuations in the market. If your goals haven't changed, then your strategy to achieve those goals shouldn't change either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are 2 important things. The third one I would say is to put time on your side. You're investing for the long term, so use that to your advantage. I tell young people all the time, if you're 18 and you start to invest $3,000 a year in for 10 years straight, and then you never touch it again, if it's in good growth oriented mutual funds, you will see that you'll end up a millionaire at 65. But if you take that same individual and you wait till age 28 to start investing, you'll end up with about $400,000 less, even though you invest for 40 straight years. So you're looking at a big difference. Time is our friend when it comes to investing. And I know not everyone has that. And that may be where some of the fear comes in. But this next point would be what would help people as well in that respect, to leverage the power of diversification. Um, a balanced portfolio of 65% stocks and 35% bonds has held up better, dipping considerably less than the Dow Jones index. Some people will say, oh my goodness, the Dow Jones index is down 1,000 points today. But if you're diversified in a 65-35 equities versus fixed income, then you're not down the same percentage that the Dow Jones is. That's just an indicator of what that particular index is. So leverage the power of diversification. And then lastly, lean into the volatility. History shows that the best times to be opportunistic are when it feels toughest to do so. So if you have your 6 months of emergency fund taken care of in cash reserves, then, and you have anything over that that you would like to invest, now's the time to do it. It's a great opportunity to invest right now. So those are the 5 takeaways that I would give. Hopefully that's helpful.
Absolutely. And the other thing I want to know during this time, I know totally off subject to some amazing information there, but you know, besides the quality time, and we have found that that's the whole true in our household too, and kind of feeding off there, just like the peace and with it all, not just like the financial from having the things set up to the 6-month emergency plan that thankfully we had learned from you years ago. But the piece of just having this time that with our family, and that we had to, and sitting down and having family meals more than we ever have, and the walks and on that side of things is critical, I think, at this time too, to make sure that we are just stepping away from all the madness and getting caught up, and you would probably agree with this, looking at your number, especially in the stocks going up and down. To your point, when your goals don't change, the fluctuations are always going to be there. But what I was getting at is making sure that you are shutting that off too. I think that's a very important thing. And I will admit, when all this started to come out, I was on certain groups, especially with other chiropractors, and there was just fear driven everywhere, and it was feeding into and to me. And then I started to feel that fear, and those, even with the stocks and all that, you hang out with people who drive that fear into you, is only going to make it worse too. And I think that's why it's extremely important to have someone like Jeremy to make sure that you're being poured into in the correct manner. But also, besides just the family time, and I know I'm going back in circles here.
That's okay.
What are you guys doing for fun that you would have never dreamed that you're doing currently? For example, we have never had so many, we found old Easter eggs, and we got them on a little spoon, and we're racing around the house timing each other. And as of now, I'm holding the house record, but Brinley's coming in tight.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One of the fun things that we've started doing, TikTok has become, such a big deal. And so we'll find ourselves randomly making family TikTok videos all around the house, and those have been super fun. And I think, literally singing together, we have, we kind of have a built-in worship leader in our home with our oldest son, Tyler. And so he'll break out his guitar and we'll sing and just have a good time together. So those are some fun things we've been doing.
So cool. Jeremy, I really thank you so much for your time and just jumping on with me today. And hopefully those of you listening found some value in the 5 things Jeremy had shared, and also some of the fun things that we've been doing, and just finding peace in your heart, also through this whole process. And, those of you that might need to talk to someone, Jeremy is an awesome dude. I love him. I can honestly say that as a friend, and led me as a spiritually for many years. And Jeremy, what would be the best way for someone to contact you? And I'll make sure I'll put this in the comments or in this post. But what's the best way to contact you, if you don't mind sharing publicly?
Yeah, that's fine. You can call me at my office at 512-263-2668. You can also reach me on my cell phone at 512-736-3865. Those are usually the best ways to get in touch. And
Awesome.
We can maybe put the link to my Facebook page as well.
Okay.
That will be an opportunity for you to get value add information.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure I get that in the link. Jeremy, thanks again. You have an awesome day and a good weekend.
Y'all too. Bye bye.